Yeah,
All right.
welcome everybody to the Bummies. This is the first annual Bummies.
Yes, the
Uh
first
yeah,
annual Bummy Awards.
aka the Cinebums Awards for 2021. So yeah, this is our first go at making our own awards. And yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I like a lot of our categories. We got some good categories out here.
Yeah, we invented a whole bunch of new categories. In the past, we would like do the Oscars and we'd be like, this movie should not have been nominated for an Oscar. And you're just deconstructing how the Oscars goes. And it's just so tiresome and boring, as I'm sure you guys know. It's just like so tiresome to always complain about the Oscars year after year. So like um since we're definitely highly opinionated here and we definitely don't like to go fully off how the Oscars does things, like we just decided to make our own categories and we um and for a lot of it we're deciding to have some fun with it, so expect the unexpected for these awards. And I don't think anyone, you know what, maybe we'll end up posting some of the categories and nominees on our social media pages so people
Mhm.
will end up knowing the categories to build anticipation for this. But currently, as we're recording this, nobody knows the categories or that this is even happening. So um yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll put those out there so you can see what to expect, I guess. But if you want to be surprised, then don't look at our social media, I guess. But yeah, we've got some good ones, some ones that are really out of left field. So yeah, I'm excited. Should we is there anything else we should preface off the top, or should we get into our first award here?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm ready to get going. I'm ready to be done with 2022 movies, or 2021 movies, that is, because I feel like we've been talking about them for a while.
Yeah, over a year.
I made a list today for the movies I want to watch before the actual Oscars, and just looking at it makes me sick. Like I have to watch. It was like all the
Yeah,
documentaries, and then I wanted to watch The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and then pretty much everything that's nominated. I'm like, I have no real motivation to do that, but I will. King Richard, I never saw. Still got to catch
yeah,
up on that lovely picture. But yeah, it's so
right.
done with
Yeah,
this
and
year.
you should. But yeah, I'm tired of it. Like, because I feel behind on this year's movies. Like, I still haven't seen the Batman, for instance, and
What?
then I look on like our Bummies nominees, and I'm like, God, I still haven't seen like Come On with Joaquin Phoenix, and just
Mm,
Come
all this
on.
same.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this shit, and I'm just like, it just never ends trying to get to all these films. Really,
Yeah.
you just gotta, like, the only way is to um not have a job or anything.
To be a Cinnabum,
Yeah.
a true
A true
Cinnabum.
Cinnabum would, yeah. They would see all of these. But hey, we still saw a lot. And um I think this first category that we have is a good one to start with. So yeah, we'll go ahead and announce the nominees. The nominees for the weirdest movie of the year, Bummy Award, and the nominees are Malignant, Bliss, Cry Macho, Benedetta, and Matrix Resurrections.
Ooh.
All
Now,
right.
I have only seen
Um,
3 out of the 5 of these.
yeah, and we
Same.
also haven't seen everyone in every category because this was like a collaboration where we just added our own like opinions and stuff like that.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I added Benedetta, for instance, because I personally had a very like just fucked up time at the theaters when I saw Benedetta. But Benedetta is actually like a very among like film people and cinephiles, a very like well regarded movie.
I
I
love
just
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I just
love it personally, but it is also, it works for
it's
this
weird.
category. Either
Yeah,
way, I feel like,
it's a fucking
yeah.
weird movie, for sure. And then we've talked about Cry Macho a bunch this year.
Yeah.
The annual Clint Eastwood movie for weirdest picture.
Yeah, and then our Matrix Resurrections we've talked about, and which is one we really like, but also because it's fucking weird. That's also why it's on here. And Bliss was a movie we talked about. I brought up. I'm the only one who's seen it. I added Bliss. Yeah, I'm the only one who's seen it. But if you listen to our worst of episode, you'll understand why it's why this is nominated. And Malignant. Obviously, anyone who saw that, the third act turn it takes after all this very strange buildup makes it not only one of the weirdest but the most unique movies of the year, I would say. Directed by Jake who?
James Wan, the man behind Aquaman, Insidious, and the first Saw. The king of weird blockbusters.
The first Saw.
The first Saw.
Yeah.
His career was leading up to make a movie this insane, in my opinion, and it's a worthy contender on this list here.
Yeah, and in a way, isn't it? I don't know, like him kind of more as unhinged as anything, maybe, as he's done outside of say the first Saw.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
he got a shit ton of Aquaman money, and he basically made whatever he wanted. He got a blank check, and it was that's what he came up with. So it came out of his brain.
Yeah,
okay.
Malignant.
Well,
yeah.
I think we covered it. I think we got everyone excited. I'm excited. John, do you want to read our winner of our first category?
I'll read the winner of our first category.
He's got ripping up envelopes is really
difficult. Bummy goes to
the weirdest Bummy goes to Malignant.
There we go.
All right.
Congrats, James Wan. And that thing in the back of her head.
Yes, congrats,
one
James
of the best
Wan,
characters. Damien's his name,
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually watched Malignant with my mom, and after we finished it, my mom was kind of like, I could tell she enjoyed it. She was like, okay, the backwards, the two-sided head movie.
That just happened.
That's the one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is just, there's no way to see any of Malignant coming. So I think that we all voted correctly on this one. I'm satisfied.
Oh yeah, I'm very happy with that. I think it's a good start.
That movie, the action sequence in the police precinct is so bananas and insane. So well directed. It's so crazy. I saw it in a theater and people were like screaming when that was happening. I'm like, this is
right. Yeah,
it'd be like a cult hit in
it's got like reactions of watching like Jackass Forever or something like that.
Everyone's like, holy fuck.
It's just so shock value. So like that's just really, I don't know, impressive. And I definitely, I don't know, I would, if I could go back, I would rate Malignant higher because I think it's
nice,
pretty damn unique.
Yeah, we watched it at a friend's house. There were like 6 of us in their living room watching this, and it just brought me back to like being a kid watching scary movie.
Yeah,
like your friend's living room. Like it's great. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, like what's that? Thanksgiving, like something like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But done with like a $30 million budget, which is what makes it even weirder.
Yeah. I definitely have a soft spot for Malignant.
Now I want to rewatch Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that
deserves a revisited episode, maybe.
Oh, agreed. This thing.
I think there's a sequel too to that movie. I always wanted to check out.
Oh wow, I didn't know. John, I think we watched that together in high school. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like and laughed like a lot.
A ton, yeah. I remember watching that. Yeah.
It played in our base. I think it played in our basement a lot.
It did.
Like we showed a lot of people.
Yeah,
pretty sure
really
Rick
curious
was there
what I think
too.
of it. Yeah, he probably was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm 100% down for a Thanksgiving revisited coming up.
Sick.
All right.
Okay, I'm down to read out our next category.
All right. Moving
Um,
on.
because I actually wrote
I created it.
this category.
You're the
Yeah,
creator.
The
I
creator.
created it, and this category is kind of like a film flex category. Because it's the reasons the Oscars shouldn't ignore the technical categories, because they do, and they only recognize the people who are on the camera,
The
like in front of the
suits.
camera rather than who are behind the camera. And which is obviously ridiculous. Like, for instance, to say that like people don't give a fuck about I don't know, score or like cinematography or animation or something like. Well, they're probably still doing it. Are they still doing animation, Jake?
They're doing all those things you mentioned.
Oh, but they're showing them live.
The ones they're not showing live are like costume and like a sound editing, really obscure things. They might not be doing editing. Maybe you're right. I think they're definitely doing cinematography, though. I could be wrong. That would be a wild one to kick out.
That'd be disgraceful. But either way, I bet if they had it their way, they would not be doing cinematography, which is such a ridiculous thing to say, that people like, I don't know, just such a ratings minded thing, because they're trying to save their ratings to not do cinematography. And like, because everyone appreciates cinematography. They like, they do. It's very important. So that's what I will say first, a lot of these nominees are. And so this is just a pure technical category award. So here we go. Here are our nominees for the reasons the Oscars shouldn't ignore the technical category awards. We got Licorice Pizza cinematography, which is done by Paul Thomas Anderson and I believe Mike Bowman. The Tragedy of Macbeth cinematography. Jake, do you know who did that?
That's Bruno Del Bano.
Bruno Del Bano.
King.
Dune sound mixing and editing. West Side Story editing. House of Gucci lighting and costumes. We put lighting and costumes together there.
Yes.
I also wrote that. And then
basically the same thing.
Yeah. So even we're like diminishing the technical awards in a way. And then Nobody, stunts and choreography.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, like, Licorice Pizza cinematography is obviously great. I've seen it in film twice. And the prints are both fantastic. The Tragedy of Macbeth is like a stunning movie in general, and it's it's just so good to look at. And while I've complained about Dune's sound being fucking way too loud, and I will stand by that, I will say that at a reasonable decibel level, it is very well mixed and edited, and like the sound design like is one of the things that puts you into this world, along with just the look of it, and it immerses you into this different world. And then West Side Story's editing is fantastic. It's really what separates it from the original for me.
Could be editing / choreography.
Yeah, the choreography too. Like Spielberg's ability to like lay out coverage and then edit around scenes in a brilliant way. And then House of Gucci, everyone knows the costumes are great, but I thought the lighting in House of Gucci is really fantastic, and a lot of just the indoor locations. I'm not really like a lighting expert, so I can't really say like what kind of like fucking lighting, like fluorescent, whatever the hell type of lighting they're doing. It's really well lit.
Nice lights. Yeah.
Yes, the lighting costume department that are, they work together. They did a great job. And then nobody stunts and choreography done by the John Wick, the same ones as John Wick, right?
It's the same stunt team, from the original Matrix movies.
Yes, and you can feel that.
Yeah.
Very much so in this.
Yeah, that whole bus scene and Nobody itself is just insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Odenkirk's commitment to selling the action and kind of transforming himself into a brooding. We'll probably talk about him again, but yeah, he's I'd put him a part of that stunt / choreography category too, because he's, and RZA and Chris Lloyd as well. Why not?
Yeah, they don't get as down and dirty as Odenkirk, but they go full on with the shooting, especially. I think RZA does some samurai sword shit possibly, but like
he uses his sniper. Yeah.
It's not really. I don't think it's a samurai sword, but he hits people with a sniper. But Odenkirk goes full on, like he's getting beat up while like dragging around, beating other people up, and it's really good. Okay, so the Bummy, for the reasons the Oscars shouldn't ignore the technical category, goes to Macbeth cinematography, done by who again, Jake? Who won?
Bruno. We'll never know. His name is Bruno O'Bonnell. He's long overdue for an Oscar, in my opinion. He shot Llewyn Davis. What else has he shot? He shot Inside Llewyn Davis, which is I think one of their best looking movies on a visual level. He's done a lot. Like he did The Darkest Hour, the Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Buster Scruggs.
Yeah, he's a really underrated DP, and like people don't talk about him as much with like Deakins or Lubeski, but I think he's up there.
Yeah, I mean, I've so far I like it when the Coens go to him instead of Deakins. I've just found that like the look is very different.
Totally.
Like it's like you can clearly see the difference in Llewyn Davis between all their other films visually. The
color palettes are more unique, I think. There's like just a different aesthetic, I think, with him too.
Okay, cool. That's who won. Let's move on. Jake, you can go ahead and announce this next one because you wrote it.
Absolutely. So this category for the Bummies 2022 awards is the I'll Skip It award, which is, I think, a general statement people say when you bring up a movie and they're like, I'll skip it, or no thank you, I don't want to see that shit. And I haven't seen any of these. I think you guys have actually seen a couple of these, so this was purely my contribution, but they're the ones that I never bothered to watch. So yeah, the first one is pretty self-explanatory for the nominees. It's Eternals. I think we talked about Marvel fatigue pretty in-depthly when we talked about Black Widow or something in the past, and that movie embodies it a lot. Not to mention they played the trailer half a dozen times before each movie, and that was getting really annoying. And critically, I heard nothing really good about it. Respect, which is the Aretha Franklin musical biopics. I'm just so over musical biopics in general. And that one, I don't know, nothing really stuck out to it for me. I've just been out on them. Dear Evan Hansen, which is based on a really popular Broadway musical starring Ben Platt. And the film adaptation I heard is just terrible. And just kind of a train wreck all around. So I skipped that one. Red Notice, I don't really have to say much. We're in a movie star crisis with those those three at the helm of that movie, and I'm sure you guys, if you've watched it, could speak more on it.
Yeah.
The Little Things I put on because it stars one of my all-time favorite actors acting against two of my least favorite actors in Hollywood history, being Jared Leto and Rami Malek, and just like kind of like a straight to TV mystery thriller directed by the fucking guy who did The Blind Side. So yeah, those were the
What's
nominees.
his name? What's the director's name?
Fuck, I don't know it offhand. It's some very white sounding name.
Some
it's
very white guy.
John Lee Hancock is his name. Yeah. Usually skip that guy's work altogether. Anyway, yeah, the Bummy for the I'll Skip It award goes to Red Notice, which I think is well deserved because I didn't watch it this year.
I voted for it, but I watched it.
Yeah,
and
I haven't watched any of these, so yeah.
Yeah,
I've
watched The Little Things, the Red Notice, and I've thought about watching Eternals. So I guess I wasn't super true to the award because I didn't really skip what I voted for. But when I was watching it, I was thinking like this is the most like you don't have to watch it movie I've ever seen. I just
should have
couldn't
skipped
believe
it.
Exactly, and it's one of those where they like it feels so much like a fucking studio just put these three very box office appealing stars together and gave them nothing to work with and put them in this like really nothing movie. And yeah, it just didn't have anything really for me. And I remember there were just so few times where I was like, wow, I enjoyed that scene or something like that. You know, it just had nothing for me.
Yeah,
John, did you see that one?
I haven't, but I remember like when it came out and I was like, oh, I guess I'll see that. I want to watch more 2021 movies. And then like as time went on, I just never wanted to watch it. And then it got to a point where I wasn't caught up on watching like good movies from 2021. So I didn't want to waste my time watching. Yeah, I kind of assumed what Luke said it would be. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like
and
the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard was maybe similar.
It's a similar him and his Wife's Bodyguard is way better. It's way
I'm
better.
sure.
I hate that. Yeah.
Red Notice, like the charm of these three actors doesn't hold anything here. It doesn't even like it doesn't help at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
John, do you want to talk about your vote for Dear Evan Hansen a little bit?
Oh yeah, I mainly did that to try and just not vote for the same thing because I felt like
fair enough.
We had a lot of ties. But this was like right on par with Red Notice too. Just because I know a little bit about the play Dear Evan Hansen or the musical, and I've heard like positive things about it, but it never really interested me. And then to see Ben Platt playing that role and having, being made to look like a high schooler with all that, the makeup and everything, it just looked so awkward and weird and basically just like money grab all the way through to just, capture an audience based on the Dear Evan Hansen popularity, which is probably dying at the moment. But So yeah, it was between Red Notice and Dear Evan Hansen. So yeah, I went with Evan Hansen there. Well, we move on then to the best gentle movies, and the nominees for the Bummies are Petite Maman. I hope I'm saying that right.
Petite Maman.
Petite Maman.
I figured it was not what John said. My man.
My man. Petite Maman. Together, Together. That one's easier. Luca, Come On, and Coda. Wow, we have Together, Together, and Come On, both in
Yeah,
this
I
category.
mixed those up. I thought Come On was the was Together. But I haven't seen Come On. Yeah, this is the category that just feels like, I don't know, even though it's like 2021, I mean, it feels like a Hayao Miyazaki movie should be in this category.
Yeah, Petit Maman, or To Pete My Man, as he said, is definitely like it's like kind of an ode to Miyazaki. For sure.
So yeah, okay.
It's not animated, but the tone and like the sort of the themes and the overall like look of the movie is definitely, it's reminiscent of Miyazaki for sure.
All right. And then like we've all seen Together. And we all love Ed Helms.
Love the Helms.
And it was good to see him in like, an indie, just like a nice, pleasant indie movie that's an hour and 30 minutes. That's well, like I've told Jake this before, that I love the weird, like odd friendship movie where just like two people in an indie movie have a very random fresh friendship based off certain circumstances, and they, I don't know, end up bonding in different ways out of it. Like one of those is Paddleton from a few years ago with Mark Duplass and Ray Romano, where it's just one of those random friendships that's just really, really touching and like very therapeutic to watch on screen. Everyone liked Luca this year. I have no complaints about Luca. I think the Vespa gag is a little overdone.
So yeah, Luca was also gentle. Yeah. And then there's Come On.
Yeah, Jake, you've seen Come On. You're the only one, right?
Yeah, that's sort of what inspired this list. It's Mike Mills, who did 20th Century Women, and Beginners, the Ian McGregor movie back in 2011. He's a really gentle filmmaker, really insightful director, really personal director. So, and Joaquin kind of is he's the epicenter of the gentleness in that movie, which is a good contrast from Joker, in my opinion. More of what I like to see Joaquin doing. Coda is that's a Best Picture nominee. I don't know if either of y'all have seen that one, but it's about a deaf family. It's about a deaf family who is a fisherman family on the East Coast somewhere. It's similar to what we were saying about kind of like Luca. It's really just a portrait of a family surviving and dealing with their impairments of being deaf and mute, and their one daughter who is not, and sort of takes care of the family. And it's just a really beautiful kind of slice of life, and a great movie. Honestly, should be a front runner for the Best Picture at the Academy Awards. So yeah, those are the 5 for gentle.
All right, John, give it to him.
The Bummy goes to Together. All right.
Nice.
Andy Bernard finally gets a win.
The Nard Dog, yeah.
The Nard Dog is gentle.
Yeah, Together. I thought I didn't put together this category, but once I saw Together and Gentle, I was like, yeah, that's exactly how I would describe it. And yeah, Luke, I agree with what you said too. It's always nice to see the, two completely different people in sort of a buddy movie like this. And Patty Harrison's really great too.
Love her.
Like everything she does.
She's so funny. She's hilarious.
Especially in I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah.
If either of you have seen that. Yeah.
She's so funny.
She's hilarious. So yeah, it was great to, I thought it was two people that I really like and are very likable themselves. So yeah, together.
Yeah, I
the
picked
winner.
this almost as like a default because I hadn't seen a few of the others, but yeah, I'm happy to give it the win, I guess.
All right.
All right, our next bummy category is the greatest locations and set pieces of the year. Our first nominee would be Barb and Stars Resort Beach.
Great set piece.
Jay, can you find out what that resort is called?
It's fake. It's called the Vista Del Mar.
There we go.
Like
Of course it is, like the title.
But it's like it's in the
Yeah.
it's like supposed to be in the Florida Keys somewhere.
That's why we have you here.
One of those typical resorts that you would see like in a
it's
spring break ad or something.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Really colorful and really blue.
Yeah, just from the standpoint of it being, like you said, a default, like stereotypical Florida resort, I just thought that it was just I don't know, a brilliant like set piece in general. And I love the vacation comedy, being that this is one of the better ones that has been done, actually. I will say I thought this just worked especially.
Totally.
And the next nominee would be The Tragedy of Macbeth's Castle, which, you know, as we said, with his cinematography, like there's just so many like dark corners and just very like just trippy alleys of the castle.
A lot of shadows and deep just very like big monoliths, you know, like in 2001, like just big items around the castle. Like it feels so big.
And our next nominee would be The House in Shiva Baby, which is not a movie I've seen or even think I've heard of.
I've seen, but
I
honestly thought Shiva Baby was like a 2018 movie.
No,
I didn't realize it was 2021.
It was 2021.
Wow. Yeah, John's in a different decade.
Yeah.
You're living in the past, man.
We're in unprecedented times.
I get it. Yeah,
These times are unprecedented. All right, and then the next one would be The Farm and the Power of the Dog, which is very understandable since so much happens on that farm. Yeah. This next one I definitely like too. The Carnival in Nightmare Alley, I mean, is just awesome. Awesome. Just how much Guillermo del Toro immerses you in this carnival is great. And I just remember all the shots of like Bradley Cooper, where you're following Bradley Cooper walk along the carnival and you see like you know, like a fucking tiger in a cage and fireworks or something, and then there's a carousel and there's just all this going on. Just that I don't know, it's just nostalgia for an old like whatever 40s carnival or whatever decade it is.
Yeah. Everything's hand built and everything.
And
just so authentic feeling. Like it's like straight out of the novel, but also like it's a period capturing carnival. Like it feels like the 40s, straight out of the 40s. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the winner for the Bummies' greatest set piece and location would be... I really need an envelope like John because mine are just all silent. But after another,
for you.
Thank you. Yeah. The castle in Macbeth. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Macbeth really taking home the Bummies this year.
They're sweeping the Bummies.
That makes two Bummies on the night for Macbeth. Need that little voiceover.
Yeah, Joel Cohen and Frances McDormand can sip champagne all they want tonight. I think this is well deserved too, along with cinematography for Macbeth. It's really
Shout out to Bruno once again.
Bruno,
shot the shit out of that castle. So this is the the biggest flex of the year. And I think Luke mentioned before with the technicals, like it's a cinema flex. This is kind of building off that. Like, what was to me, like the reason you love movies and these like aspects of these movies that kind of made you overjoyed or just love them even more, just this really specific reason, whether it's technical or, well, we'll see. So the first nominee is the running scenes from Licorice Pizza. Just beautiful storytelling and beautifully shot by PTA and the other guy. And
Mike
really,
Bowman.
Mike
I
Bowman.
just randomly know who that is.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, great storytelling device in the movie for sure, and really captures a specific tone and pace to the movie, and just beautiful. And next nominee is the entirety of Matrix Resurrections, because obviously it's crazy that it exists. Wild to see this one on here. Go into space in F9, where our beloved Tyrese and Ludacris shoot off into space with the help of the Tokyo
With the
Drift
help of the Tokyo
crew,
Drift crew,
who somehow know about
yep,
astrophysics or whatever after the third movie.
yep.
So
After having an expertise in drifting and working on cars, they now know about astrophysics.
Just a beautiful thing. It's just like Ludacris going from the second movie for being like he owns a body shop to becoming like the biggest hacker in the world, you know? Like it's just classic Fast and Furious logic, which I love. The opening to West Side Story, again, we basically talked about that with the editing and sort of the staging of that sequence is just mind-blowingly good. Just the way he kind of sets the scene and sets the tone for the rest of the movie. It gets so frenetic and just there's so much palpable energy in that scene where you're just like, I fucking love this movie right from the start. And Denzel and Francis doing Shakespeare, which is that's acting 101, but they brought it to like a new height, I think, with not only their chemistry as actors, but their skill as actors. Like you could just sense their decades of being some of the best actors of all time, just delivering some of those lines and making it really palatable, which is hard to do for audiences because it's a pretty tough thing to sell. So yeah, those are do you guys have any thoughts on the Flex nominees?
Yeah, I mean, I like all of the nominees a lot. I think they're all like really good. Like Denzel and Francis doing Shakespeare is just such an acting clinic that everyone was blown away by, of course. And yeah, the opening of West Side Story too. I remember when the movie first began, I knew immediately like what I was in for. I was like, because like I remember like the song in the opening of the original and like the humming and like the walking through the gritty streets of New York and all that stuff. But like the way Spielberg did it was just in such a way that I like. I just loved it so much, what he was doing with it so much. And the running scenes in Licorice Pizza are like whenever, I don't know, whatever they do ton of technical side, like slow the frame rate down or whatever, whenever the lover interests are like running next to each other and they're finally like they're I don't know, they're like letting go and they stop, especially Alana Haim stops trying to be so mature and whatever and like thinks she's above and thinks she's above hanging out with Cooper Hoffman. It's like during this film where there's a lot of push and pull in their relationship, these running scenes is really like where they let loose and are just really feel and are just being free together. And as a viewer, especially when I was watching this movie, I just felt so alive and free during these running scenes of them just running down random streets of the valley. And they just look so good too. So I would definitely agree that is a flex if out of one of like, I don't know, maybe the most noticeable flex out of the many that are in Licorice Pizza.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a good category, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so
all right, you can read the winner.
John, can you open the envelope for me? And the Bummy goes to, and it's about time, The Matrix Resurrections.
Oh, wow.
Congrats to the Wachowski
right.
siblings. Or congrats to Lana Wachowski. Well deserved. And I can't believe that movie exists. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Matrix Resurrections is so fucking good. And it really, like, I was so mind blown by the fact that they like, this is also on our weirdest, and I like the fact that they made one that is so weird and so self-aware and so meta, and also like uses it all to its advantage.
Yep.
Is why I voted for this being a giant flex of a movie, for sure.
Yeah, and I think even with like not necessarily reboots, but just like returning to like an old IP now, people get prejudice against something like this coming out that is just gonna like be terrible or something. But I feel like I'd easily put that to rest. Maybe not everybody liked it, but I feel like overall it was like a welcome movie. Yeah, it was great.
Totally. I think the reason and why it's so polarizing is because it's so blunt about commenting on the current state of like films and franchises and kind of the relationship between a director and a studio. And there's a lot of like you guys said, meta-ness that kind of flew over people's heads, and we're expecting like a straight reboot and remake of the first movie. And beat for beat, it like copies the first movie, but kind of deconstructs each element differently, which is like I've never seen in any big blockbuster tentpole movies. So it's like that has to win the award just easily.
All right. So the next category is the best everyone fuck off performance. And first nominee we have is Kristen Stewart, or is it Kirsten or Kristen?
It's Kristen.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. It's just in our sheet. It says Kirsten.
What?
So.
What's that? What movie is that
like,
from? Where they're like, is it Kirsten or Kirsten? I forget.
Yeah.
Is it
Pam
or Pam?
I forget. No, but like, there's an actual Kristen like movie or show.
Christina.
Talking about, yeah.
Christina, yeah.
Yeah, fact check. It is supposed to be Kristen Stewart. I think there's a typo.
Yeah.
On my end there.
So Kristen Stewart from Spencer, which I've not seen, but I've heard great things about. Podcast with Luke. I think this is one of your like top 5 for the year.
Yeah, it was. It's really good.
The next nominee we have is Benedict Cumberbatch in Power of the Dog.
Great fuck off performance.
Yeah, playing the asshole brother of Jesse Plemons, and doing a great job of it. Yeah. And Olivia Colman from the Lost Daughter.
You guys see that one?
I have not.
No, been meaning to, but no.
Yeah, real quick. That's Maggie Gyllenhaal's directorial debut. And it's like a mystery thriller set on, similar to Barb and Star, set on like a beach vacation on the coast of like Europe or something. And Olivia Colman is basically there to like unwind and relax, and everyone keeps interrupting her like Zen vacation. And yeah, a great everyone else please fuck off performance, because it's like a soul character piece, and a lot of the conflict of the movie is everyone interrupting her vacation. So it's a great movie. Definitely recommended. Maggie Gyllenhaal's she's got the goods. She's a great director.
Cool. Yeah, I'd always support Olivia Colman after The Favorite.
Yeah.
And glad she went for that. So yeah, I definitely want to see that. And our next nominee is Bob Odenkirk in Nobody. For
Yeah,
obvious reasons.
even before he's fighting, he's like going through. It's like a great 9 to 5 or montage at the beginning where he's just so stuck in his routine, and it shows him like I forget specifically what he does, but he's like at home like getting the mail or just something, and you could just see how stuck he feels, and just every little thing is annoying him, and it's kind of what gives him the urge to go out and like kill pretty much again. And so I do feel that's a great nominee right there.
It's like when the he's trying to take the garbage out every Monday and he
Yeah.
always misses the truck like 5 times in a row. And his wife's like, you missed the garbage truck today, honey? And she said it like every single day. He's like, I know. And she's like, through that montage, it's like he hates everything. Everything's just this dull routine. And yeah, great performance.
Mm-hmm. And then our final nominee for Best Everyone Fuck Off Performance is Alana Haim from Licorice Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, very obvious, like scene one,
obvious,
he's trying to talk to her, and she's just really trying to tell him to fuck off. Like, and she probably does tell him like directly to fuck off later in the movie a bunch of times.
She does.
Yeah, so that's definitely a good one. And it's just because she has that like older attitude, like I'm 25, I should not be hanging out with his 50 or 15-year-old friends all the time. And you could tell whenever she's around adults, she's like sucking up to them, and like because she wants to be one of them, but she's really not. She's like still she's 25 and she's still like a kid. And I found that, like, I don't know, one of the big relatable things about Alana's character in that.
Yeah, she has that. She says "fuck off" a lot when she's working at the Benny Safdie campaign, when she's doing cold calls, and they would answer. She would say her line, and they would hang up. She's like, "Well, fuck off then," or whatever she says. Yeah, and like you said, it's like she's in that limbo of being like in your mid-20s where you don't know what direction to go, and like you want to conform to being an adult, but you also want to have that free spirit of Cooper Hoffman's character, and that causes a lot of friction and like within all of her relationships. And she's basically very self-centered throughout the movie in a way, and she kind of that's kind of what inspired this category, is like, everyone just let me live my life and let me figure it out. So yeah, those are the noms.
Yeah. And I also highlight a great everyone fuck off scene from Alana Haim when she brings her potential soon-to-be boyfriend over for dinner with her family. And and her chasing him outside, asking him what his penis looks like. That's a great everyone fuck off scene. And okay, those are the nominees, and the Bummy goes to Alana Haim from Licorice Pizza. Right.
This is the first Bummy win for Alana Haim. She hugs Bradley Cooper on their way up.
So in
a way, this looks like the camera on our like seats at the Oscars, like how it shows us. Really.
Yeah, we're the losers basically.
Yeah.
Every time
exactly,
we always lose. We don't win ever. I actually voted for Kristen Stewart for this.
The close runner-up.
Because I wanted to vote for something different, and I also do genuinely think Kristen Stewart's performance is like, it is the most like everyone leave me alone performance. I think it's where it's solely about that. Because you feel you feel so much how everyone is just immersed in her life, and she has no privacy. There are very few times where she does, and it's like when she is like sitting or with her sons, like around like a small lamp, like playing cards and joking around, and like Alana in a Licorice Pizza, it's like her moments of being a kid again, and it's the only free time she has. And there's just so many shots where it shows her on her estate looking out the window, and she can't even like, people keep telling her she can't even like stand in the window because like paparazzi can see her, and she's like, who cares if I stand in the window? And like just the amount of anxiety she has by being so like under watch and everything. And and also because I think Kristen Stewart has like, she's like a great like fuck off actor, you know, like she just always seems to play someone who's annoyed by others, and she just does it really well. And I think she does it as good as ever in this performance. So that's why I decided to vote for her. But I am also all for Alana Haim winning this award.
Yeah, I almost picked Kristen Stewart because like you were saying, like that movie's very physically and mentally like suffocating in a way. Like you're just exhausted for her by the end of the movie, and just an amazing performance. And I think it's good casting because it's like Kristen Stewart can pull a lot of personal baggage into that performance. I feel like, because obviously like the Twilight fame and all the shit she dealt with, like with celebrity culture and paparazzi and you know, internet trolls and whatever. And I feel like she brought a lot of personal experience to that role. And yeah, I'm glad she got that Oscar nom for that movie for sure.
All right.
So that's Alana. Congrats to Alana Haim.
Congrats to Alana.
All right, our next category is a good one too. It is the best worst Italian accent. Because there were a lot of those this year, a lot of bad Italian accents in cinema this year.
Indeed.
And the nominees are Jared Leto, Adam Driver, Lady Gaga, Al Pacino, and Jeremy Irons, all of Ridley Scott's House of Gucci.
The Gucci.
House of Gucci.
Which not only didn't have authentic Italian like language, but it had it didn't have authentic Italian music either. It had music as if this was like a Martin Scorsese movie. And so this is like as an Americanized, you know, retelling of this movie as it gets. Along with very like almost like Americanized impressions of Italian accents rather than authentic Italian dialects and language. So I like this category, and yeah, it's like a good pop culture category as well.
Yeah, this was a very interesting movie to see. I think it's just I wonder what they were thinking when they're, I don't know, rehearsing, going through lines, or just, you know, on set, that we're all doing these ridiculous Italian accents, and how anyone could take that seriously. But it added a lot of enjoyment in the watching of House of Gucci, though. Very much enjoyed all the quirks of these characters.
Yeah, because like Sympathy for the Devil by like Rolling Stones would play. Like not like, I don't think that song maybe actually plays, but like a song like it plays.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it'll be like, and then you just see like Lady Gaga like, I want to own Gucci, and Al Pacino's like, no. You're just like, what a fucking movie this is right now.
What is it, like Father, Son, House of Gucci or something like that?
Father, Son, House of Gucci.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. All right. Well, the Bummy goes to. Oh, wait, this is Luke reading, not me. Sorry,
All
I was
right,
taking it over. Here, let me. I'll open it for you.
Yeah, you're Kanyeing me at the Bummies, man.
I'm gonna let you finish, Luke. But okay, and the Bummy for best worst Italian accent goes to Jared Leto, House of Gucci. All right, woo, yeah.
Yeah.
This was a unanimous decision for Jared Leto to win the best worst Italian accent category.
He was
and his first nomination and first win.
Yeah, him as Paulo was what kept me invested. His sequences were rarely electric. His approach to that character was pretty wild.
Yeah.
And
probably by far the most eccentric and
yeah,
out there of all of them. Yeah.
His makeup and everything is kind of his overall look is just jarring in that movie, to say the least.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's a great pick. I would also like to nominate a few, or just mention a lot of the people from Many Saints of Newark. Not a necessarily bad Italian accent, but a really thick Italian accent, like people playing the younger versions of like Junior Soprano and all those people. Vera Farmiga playing the mother, Mrs. Grandma Soprano. There's just a movie full of another Italian accents, but definitely not as bad as House of Gucci.
Yeah, Jared Leto ran away with this one, but he had some good competition still.
I'd say like Adam Driver might have the worst accent, but Leto's got the most memorable and committed Italian accent.
Adam Driver still sounded a lot like Adam Driver.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. When he was doing
oohs added at the end of each syllable. Yeah. I am a Gucci.
I'm a Gucci. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Well, I think we'll take a break now.
So the best non-human baby, which is a great category for the year of 2021. 2 nominees only. But we got the marionette baby from Annette, which sadly I've not seen. So you guys could talk through that one, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, Annette. So the marionette baby in Annette is also Annette, the title character of the movie. But we have 2 strong nominees here. I think both these movies that were nominated, I really enjoyed because of their weirdness and uniqueness, and they happen to have the same thing in mind of having a non-human baby. So the marionette baby from Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard, I think is really interesting and weird, and she becomes a very important character to the movie too, and you kind of just go with it that it's not this real human, like you just it's just such I feel like they just set this movie up so well that you just will go along with something as weird as that.
And in Titan, it ends up all building towards like her having her baby.
The other nom is the car baby, Titan. Forgot to mention that one.
Titan.
It's like the emotional crux of the entire movie, kind of the tension building up to that moment. It feels like therapeutic, but it's also just bad shit crazy once you see the child, the car baby, birth from one of probably the craziest sequence of the year with the car sex, which I think one of you guys had talked about that in a previous episode, which
that was on our best of list, I think. But both of these movies could have fit into the weirdest category too. Yeah, and especially the car sex
I'm
scene
surprised Annette
is
wasn't nominated for the weirdest.
yeah. I thought about adding
I, gu-
both of these, but I
I
felt
guess
like
I
we
could have
had
taken
enough,
like Bliss
you
out
know.
or like another one.
Crime Macho.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I
yeah.
will take responsibility. I made the category. Um, all right, Jake, reveal the winner of these two babies.
and the Bummy Award, the golden pacifier, if you will, for
Oh.
best non-human baby is the marionette baby from Annette.
Right, Annette.
We love her so much.
We love this baby so much.
Adam Driver takes the stage.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if you anyone who has seen Annette, you will know that Annette in Annette is everything.
Yeah.
Baby Annette is really the key to everything, and I would embellish more on that, but I don't totally even understand what that means. But yeah, like it's all revolved around Annette, and I find it fascinating how far it goes with Annette, and how unexpected it is with Annette's I mean, like singing career, right? Like Annette becomes like
Yeah.
incredibly famous. And Adam Driver just gets caught in the whirlwind of Annette's fame. And also is very key, like holds kind of the key to Marion Cotillard's soul also.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very fascinating, and like it's what makes Annette so unique, other than it's like its music, it's like the music and humor in it and its structure, just this idea of what this baby, how this world starts to revolve around this fake baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's not really fair to the car baby from Titan because
Yeah, you can't
Annette,
compete with
yeah,
that.
Annette becomes a star and yeah, she has a lot more to do, whereas the car baby is a little cherry on top at the end. But yeah, I was just like in awe of what the movie Annette, and watching this and caring about this puppet baby, and it's I think it's well deserved Bummy for Annette.
Yeah, I mean, Annette the baby would never win an Oscar, so that's why we have
Yeah,
the Bummies now.
yeah, Annette
So
needs to feel seen.
so Annette spans like multiple decades, it sounds like. If you see the baby grow up into like a famous
Time
pop
does
star.
not run the same in Annette as it does in the real world.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like Mother, like with Jennifer Lawrence, where things just kind of like decades worth of things just happen within like an hour, kind of,
it's kind of like I feel like Annette grew fast, and then she became like a star like very young.
Yeah, and it becomes
Yeah.
this endless
Oh, I see.
montage, really.
Yeah.
But
So yeah,
Annette
it doesn't
always
really go
stays like a
too long.
child, though.
Yeah, she's always a
An
child.
infant,
Got
and is
it.
always kind of carried by Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, and it's kind of his responsibility, and it goes along with because the movie starts as a love story between him and Marion Cotillard, and it turns south, so it becomes all about him and him taking care of Annette.
Nice. It's one I'm very embarrassed I didn't check off my 2021 list from. But yeah, one day I'll go down that road.
What did you see, like 80 something movies, but not Annette. The next category is another small category, but it's the Bummy for best or the most okay movie.
And it's
Uh,
maybe the most okay
The most
category
okay.
the most okay
because it
category.
only has 2 nominees.
I have more to add, actually, just really quickly after you read those. Just
Okay, we'll have a couple surprise nominees
Yeah.
too.
Spoilers, they will not win because
Yeah,
they
they
would
will.
just be
Yeah.
added.
They missed the voting
that's
period.
fine. That's the one that we
Um,
picked. I think is the right one anyway.
Oh yeah, this was okay. Well, the first nominee is In the Heights, and yeah, this I think I may have added this one. I don't know. Maybe this was already here. But yeah, I was definitely underwhelmed with In the Heights, and I think we've established on here that we're maybe not the biggest fans of Lin-Manuel's music. Fan of his directing, but at least I myself have not been a huge fan of his music. I don't really dislike them in any ways, but they just don't really do it for me. And it felt to me fairly bland. And yeah, I never got into In the Heights very much. But yeah, but it fits perfectly in the okay category for me. And then the next nominee is Being the Ricardos, the Nicole Kidman, Javier Bardem,
Yeah.
Lucy Desiarnaz story. Yeah,
I feel like this stands out as very. How about you just read the winner, then I'll say this.
yeah. Since
It's
there's
like
only
2
two of
movies.
them, but this was another unanimous decision for Being the Ricardos.
Yeah.
Wah, wah,
Oh yeah, it should be more like
Uh,
Javier Bardem
um,
walks
but
on stage.
I just kind of feel like because this movie has so much like talent and Hollywood powerhouse, and then it ended up as it, and it is about such a rich, like a very something that has a lot of rich entertainment and history. For it to come out as it did is why it like screamed out as like, wow, this was just so like okay, it was just so okay for I don't know, in comparison to what it could have been. I would like compare it to say the Judy Garland biopic from a couple years ago, which was also just okay.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely Jake. You were talking earlier about like being tired of music biopics, and a lot of biopics can be are just getting kind of tired now. And yeah, it's just very plain, and yeah, there's so much. I don't know, Lucille Ball was such a like iconic, one of a kind person that you know, you feel like the creativity and like opportunities are endless to do something interesting with that. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
you just know she probably had so much more like interesting conflict in her life that necessarily is than what necessarily goes on in this movie that could have been
yeah.
highlighted, I feel like. All right, let's move on to best musical. Pretty obvious category. It's got it was a great year for musicals. So we've got 2 musical categories coming up. The nominees for best musical will be West Side Story, Tick Tick Boom, Annette, and In the Heights.
Who nominated In the Heights? You guys put it on the most okay.
Yeah. We don't know what we clearly don't know what we're doing.
Just trying to fill up the nominees. We just had 2 straight categories with only 2.
I think I put In the Heights in this category. John put In the Heights in the other category.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Difference of opinion going on.
Yeah. But like I definitely don't. I mean, I would say In the Heights is the worst of these musicals. So there's a little spoiler for for this for the winner,
the
but
winner.
yeah. So I would say somewhat that I don't totally think In the Heights is like all. I don't think it's like a great musical or anything like that. Even though it's in the greatest musical category. Either way.
But yeah, there's a lot of distance between In the Heights and the other three.
All right, and we've already talked about basically all of these.
Except Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah. We haven't, but we will. Because the Bummy for Best Musical goes to Lin-Manuel Miranda's, who we don't like, apparently.
Hey, I specified.
We don't like his directing.
We do like his director.
No, I specified. I don't like his music, but I like his directing. I threw that in as a nod that we would talk about this.
I thought you said we don't like his directing or his music.
I just don't like him as a person.
I just hate his guts, and I hope he fails at everything he tries.
Yeah.
No, I said we don't like. Speaking more for me, I guess, don't like his music, but do like his directing. Gotcha. I was alluding that we would talk about this next or coming up.
Good foreshadowing.
Yes, just foreshadowing.
Yeah, and because he is a Bummy winner, so John, you gotta get on his good side.
Hey, I'm saying I like him, all right?
Yeah, because otherwise at the cocktail hour after the awards, you're gonna be defending yourself.
It's gonna be awkward, yeah.
This is like when Halle Berry won an Oscar and then she got a Razzie for Catwoman like the next year. It's like that same vibe.
You're like, Lynn, just to clarify, I don't like your music, but I like your directing.
You seem like a nice guy.
Oh, thanks, man.
Let's go. Thank you. He would. He's like the nicest guy in Hollywood. Yeah. He'd be like, oh, thank you so much for the Bummy.
Is he known as one of the nicest guys?
He's supposed to be like the nicest guys, yeah.
I mean, everybody's been talking about how great he is for the past 5 years straight. So he can be taken down a slight notch, Yeah,
John,
I can only take him down so
John,
much.
You should humble him, really.
Yeah. It's up to me. I'm doing this for society.
But anyways,
it's a great movie.
Tick Tick Boom's awesome. All right, guys, I'm fine with that. Ending it there.
Yeah,
in that category.
Best musical.
All right, Jake, you should announce best musical performance.
Yeah.
Unlike the Oscars, as you can see, we're trying to not have too long of a show that goes on too long. We're not trying not to drag on with our categories.
Yeah. We don't have to be played off. The orchestra's going to start playing when we're talking too much.
We're not trying to empower these already very privileged celebrities. We don't.
Yeah. we're like them in it though, because we have 3 hosts, and this year they picked 3 really odd hosts.
Yeah, we have 3 hosts.
So like, I'm the Schumer, and John's the Wanda Sykes, and Luke's the Regina Hall of this Bummies award.
I'll take that. I was going to do a Wanda Sykes voice right then, but I thought that was probably not the best thing. That
John gets canceled up from the Bummies.
Yeah. We won't do that, but
yeah, let's avoid that. So yeah, best musical performance. We got Andrew Garfield and Tick Tick Boom. An incredible transformational performance. Bo Burnham and Inside. Another embarrassing one I haven't seen, which you guys will probably deliberate on. Adam Driver and Annette. Rachel Zegler is West Side Story. And Anthony Ramos in The Heights. The third Bummy for one of the most mediocre movies of the year, apparently. It's a new record.
The runner-up for most okay movie.
Lynn, you can't quite get there.
Once again, I wrote this category. John wrote the other category.
Yeah, Rachel Zegler, like, kind of a Star is Born performance. I think she's maybe aside from like Ariana DeBose, I think she's the standout in that movie, right? Like she's exceptionally great as Maria. Like she kind of oozes off the screen, and she sings well, she dances well, and she's got
who does Ariana DeBose play?
She plays the forget the character name, but she's
The one who sings
sister-in-law.
America.
Yeah, this one that sings America. She's
Yeah,
insanely great. Yeah,
she's very good.
She's very great. But should I just say the winner? Yeah, so the Bummy
real quick.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I just feel like, yeah, like in the category like this, it's like a combo, you know, like for performance wise, like not only are you trying to look for someone who has musical abilities, but you're looking also for how captivating they are on screen and how much they grip you from an emotional side as well. And like the journey the character goes on. And so I feel like all of these, they definitely have that. Even in the mediocre In the Heights, Anthony Ramos finds his island in Washington Heights. He doesn't go anywhere, but it's the mental arc of realizing that he really loved being in the Heights, all in Washington Heights all along, which I
Washington
remember.
Heights, yeah.
Washington Heights. 86,000.
Yeah.
I forgot like all the music in the Heights.
Yeah, exactly, because it was okay. It was just okay.
All right, Jake, you can read the winner now.
The winner is Andrew Garfield for the best musical performance. What a damn great guy that Andrew Garfield is. He's one of a kind, and he deserves that Bummy. But John might have another choice he would want to talk about, though.
Definitely loved Garfield in Tick, Tick, Boom. He was great, and to learn that he actually learned to sing like for that. He wasn't really a singer before, because I figured that he wasn't singing at all at first. So yeah, I thought he was great, but I went with Bo Burnham for my vote. Yeah, Bo's special I just thought was one of the most unique things I've seen in a long time ever. Yeah, and thought that he framed it around, you know, obviously staying at home, stuck inside for you know, the better half of a year. And I thought this was a very unique thing to make out of that wasn't something like Locked Down or like one of those movies or shows that they created because the pandemic was trendy in a way. But this is something that a person who was dealing with a lot of you know, mental challenges and stress, and what he created out of that. Yeah, you could just tell he put so much into it. And I loved the music too. I felt like he crossed like a ton of different genres, and they were funny and sad and super weird at parts. And I just thought it was very unique. That's Bo Burnham's Inside. Still one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah, not only is he great musically in it, but like I said, he takes you on a very emotional journey in it, which is also why I voted for Andrew Garfield, because I feel like seeing him write his musical and struggle to get it to be ready while also dealing with all this other shit, like being in his late 20s and he's still like a struggling like playwright and whatnot. And you finally see him perform the play, and like just I felt like I had like struggled all these years to write this musical, like this sci-fi epic musical. It was that you got that immersed in it, and it is because Andrew Garfield is just so good in Tick Tick Boom, and I feel like he's one of the more like, I don't know, he's been especially lately more he's like more trendy and recognized, and like
The very progressive choices he makes for movies.
yeah, and
Like
I always
Under the Silver Lake and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I always just see clips of him acting popping up everywhere, like scenes he's in, and I just feel like he's, I don't know, currently one of the best in the business, and
Yeah, totally.
Tick Tick Boom is one of his best.
Yeah, all right.
All right,
Congrats to Andrew Garfield. There's back-to-back wins
yeah,
for
yeah,
Tick Tick Boom.
yeah, it's true.
All right, so the next category is funniest performance, and the nominees are Bradley Cooper, Licorice Pizza, Kristen Wiig and Annie Momolo in Barb and Star, Andrew Garfield in The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Annabelle Wallace from *Malignant*, and specifically as Damien, that character.
That's a
and,
funny nomination.
and Adam Driver in *Annette*.
Good group. Good group
this
of
is
folks
solid.
over there. Yeah.
Yeah, great category. Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper has a great cameo there in Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, there was a point where I had like 4 nominees from Licorice Pizza, and I like couldn't. I just ended up going with Bradley Cooper for mixing it up. Like
who else was in there?
Like Cooper Hoffman. Like Cooper Hoffman is so funny.
Very funny. Sean Penn, maybe.
Yeah, him too.
Most of the supporting cast, yeah.
And obviously Kristen Wiig and Annie Momolo. That was it's definitely
amazing.
A favorite comedy.
So and they're both a team, so you got to put them together.
Yeah,
we're not being we're not being sexist by giving one award to 2 women. I'll say I'm gonna get ahead of that narrative right now.
You can't cancel us.
The way the way they changed their dialect in that movie is so great too. Like their accent, that they're so like the middle America, whatever the fuck it is, accent is just so distinct.
It's like an old Minnesota thing that like you've heard before.
It's when Annie's like, "We are Barb and Star and Vista Del Mar, and we're gonna drive a car." And she's like enunciates the R just so perfectly. Just so great.
Yeah, it's the perfect kind of over the top. And I think I added Andrew Garfield in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I
want to watch it.
Me too.
Movie I was gonna, but
I think I thought there were a lot of funny parts between him and Jessica Chastain, who plays Tammy Faye. They're both very eccentric Southern preacher characters, and it's the dynamic between them is very funny. I think Andrew Garfield again, he does a great job as an old Southern televangelist, which is very different but maybe similar to who he played in Tick Tick Boom. But I thought I wanted to give him a nod there. And then Annabelle Wallace in *Malignant* as Damien. Thought Damien was hilarious in *Malignant*, and that's when the movie really takes off into that crazy direction that we were talking about. So that's when the fun really turned up in that one. And then Adam Driver too. He plays a comedian in *Annette*, and I think if he would do his comedy act like in real life on stage, I wouldn't find it very funny. I'd be very disturbed and concerned. But it's hilarious in this context.
It's so good. Yeah.
In this world, whatever world Annette is in.
And I don't even know if like it is like, and I'm critiquing myself because I like wrote the category, but I don't even know if like Adam Driver's like performance is that funny in Annette. It's like more so like just crazy, it's bonkers.
It is. But I it's funny to me in the way that and it is just so crazy and insane.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
yeah.
it is funny. He's doing it all in this movie. Yeah.
Going back to Bradley real quick in Licorice Pizza, right now with like all the gas surges right now, where people are really avoiding the gas station, and I always think back to his line in that movie when he comes back, when he's like, "There's no gasso in the fucking caro, Steve-O." And I think about that every time I get gas now, because like everyone's just panicking for gas. It reminds me of that whole sequence where he goes back down the hill, and just wanted to mention that. Love Cooper in that movie.
All right. Well, and the Bummy goes to Kristen Wiig and Annie Momolo from Barb and Star.
Mr. Delmar.
Thanks,
Barb
guys.
and Star.
Oh.
Thanks, guys.
Also, Kristen Wiig plays the
That's
villain.
how they would sound,
so
I guess.
she plays the villain too. So it's basically like a three-way win there.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, I think this is a very deserved winner. I picked Adam Driver solely just because I knew that Barb and Star would win. So
stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah. But this is definitely I think maybe the best comedy of the year, and I agree. Best funniest performance. Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to the Cinebums Best Picture. There's a lot of nominees, like how the Oscars would do it.
We pretty much match them.
Yeah. How many do the Oscars do, Jake? Usually like 10?
8 to 10 usually. I think this year's 8 or 9, I think. So we're pretty on par with the Academy there.
Yeah, it's almost like they're scared of missing people always or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But, anyways, the nominees are Licorice Pizza, The Tragedy of Macbeth, The Power of the Dog, Spencer, Tick Tick Boom, Worst Person in the World, Drive My Car, Barb and Star, go to Vista Del Mar. Those last two categories rhyme.
Yeah, they do.
And Annette.
All right.
Barb and Star, Drive My Car. Let's go to Vista Del Mar.
Barb and Star, Drive My Car to Vista Del Mar. It's the sequel. Yeah. Road trip.
And I believe for this category, have we had a tie yet? Have we had a tie? Is it literally the only like three-way?
This is it.
This is the only one.
This is what we planned the whole hat thing for.
Yeah, just in case we prepared for such an event.
Yeah.
Well, we should announce the three.
All right.
That are in the hat.
People know. Yeah.
The three that we each voted for 3 separate movies.
Yes.
Jake voted for Worst Person in the World. John voted for
Worst
Drive
Person.
My Car. And Luke,
Drive My Car.
voted for Licorice Pizza.
John's showing the ballots like
pizza.
Like at the Oscars or something.
Oh yeah, maybe that's illegal, but this is for quality assurance. Yeah. Okay, so those are the 3. We have Worst Person in the World, Drive My Car. I gotta ruffle my hair a bit. And Licorice Pizza.
Good movies.
They're going in the hat. There they go. Not looking. I don't know which one's mine. I don't remember.
Drive My Car wins. I'm calling John. John's just lying to us and not even reading it.
Oh, what's this one?
Yeah.
Okay,
he doesn't even have any in there.
This is with all Drive My
It's
Cars.
an empty hat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of control in his hands.
So the winner is for the Bummy for Best Picture goes to Worst Person in the World.
The worst person wins Best Picture.
Yeah.
Woo! Just like America,
Wow.
baby. Hell yeah.
Congrats to
yeah,
Worst Person.
That's my pick for Best Picture, and
One of the only movies we haven't talked about tonight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I'll say, it's amazing film. One of my favorites, my favorite of the year. Probably the best performance of the year by the young woman in that movie. And it was funny today at the luncheon for the Academy. Like, there's a picture of PTA like hugging the lead actress from that movie, and they're like rolling on the floor, and he's like, because he's all like a bunch of just directors in Hollywood are in love with that movie right now. So it's like, it's kind of getting like the Parasite treatment where people are like just really fanboying out at that whenever they see the people from that movie. So yeah, definitely.
Do you think it might actually win the Oscars Best Picture as well as the Bummies Best Picture?
It's actually not nominated for the Oscar, sadly.
Oh.
So this is why it's a special win, because it's an exclusive Bummy Award winner. Yeah, very happy
getting
for
the
that.
praise it deserves. Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to see that
this
movie. You said it's long and very gut wrenching, but I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Totally, yeah. It's still in theaters if anyone out there wants to go out there and.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so is Drive My Car, and so is Licorice Pizza. So all of our Best Picture winners.
I did not know that. That's surprising with Batman and Spider-Man's, taking up so many.
Yeah.
That those would still be there, but that's cool.
Drive My Car is also on HBO Max too, so
that's true. Yeah, that's easier for people to seek out.
All right, yeah, cool.
That's Worst Person in the World, Best Picture, Best Bummy.
All right. Well, I guess this is our last category, and we are just in time to wrap this podcast up. This award, not podcast, award ceremony. I'm sorry.
Ceremony.
Ceremony.
It's no stinking podcast.
Our final category, last but not least, is the Bummy for Best Hair.
Best hair.
Because I really just thought there was a lot of unique hair this year.
Great hair year,
in
Great
cinema. So yeah, the nominees for that would be Barb and Star, Bradley Cooper again,
Brad,
Ben Affleck in The Last Duel, Matt Damon in The Last Duel, and Oscar Isaac in The Card Counter.
Some slick gray hair in the card counter for sure.
Yeah. I thought his hair was so good. And Oscar Isaac's just like a genuinely incredible looking man.
Beautiful,
at all times anyways. So and he never has and he has so many different there's so many different ways you can just make him look, like he always looks different. Like an Inside Llewyn Davis, and then The Card Counter, and Dune, and what's another one? Like I watched that Scenes from a Marriage. He's got like kind of like a professor thing going, and his hair is like really curly. I just think Oscar Isaac always changes it up, but he still is always Oscar Isaac. And yeah. I don't know what I'm really trying to say.
A lot of strong contenders here in the best hair category. Yeah.
I mean, I like Bradley Cooper's hair too. Very much of its time. Very 70s California, go rock star eccentric type.
And the beard that goes along with it's pretty iconic.
Yeah. And then Barbara Starr, like, is their hair like pink?
No, it's just curled up, and it's very. I think they bleach
Very
it
red,
like red
like
or
dyed or something.
yeah, they're kind of like like red hair, orangish.
Yeah.
It's really great hair.
Yeah, like Cooper's hair, they're both hair of a certain time.
Mm-hmm. Barbara Starr is stuck in that like 80s
Yep.
Midwestern mom.
Yeah. Like with like an ugly rug on the floor, they have that kind of hair, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the winner of best hair and our final bummy of the evening goes to Ben Affleck of The Last
Ben
Duel,
Affleck. All right.
which was a unanimous decision.
A no-brainer choice there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I almost voted for Oscar Isaac for this, as you could.
Sounded like you were about to.
Yeah, you were team.
Yeah,
You're all about his hair.
It was like a full analysis of his hair over the years.
I mean, I could have gone on more. That's the thing too. So now I'm really thinking I should have voted for him. But at the same time, I think like Ben Affleck's hair contributes so much to his performance in The Last Duel, and just his presence and like who that character is and why it's so funny. And I'm very happy that Affleck won this award, because Affleck's a great man and deserves a win, for sure. Because Hollywood won't give it to him, so we have to.
Yeah, I think this is the clear winner for best hair. It very much enhanced my experience watching The Last Duel. Seeing both his hair and Matt Damon's hair, but
yeah, the mullet, Matt Damon's mullet.
Yeah, Matt Damon's hair is really good. Yeah, and so
Ridley
is Adam
Scott
Driver's.
crushed
So his
it
hair's
with
always good.
Ridley Scott crushed it with these outfits and hair in his movies last year.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
Totally.
So well-deserved recognition for Ridley
he
too.
crushed it with his hair in these movies.
Man,
Wait, how is Ben Affleck's hair in the Tender Bar?
See, Tender Bar too. That's great hair. Yeah,
good hair
there's so
year for
many-
Affleck.
There's
Wow.
so many good ways we could have gone with this. Like there could have been as many hair nominees as there were for Best Picture.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there was a Best Glasses award, my winner would have been Adam Driver in House of Gucci, because I love his frames in House of Gucci.
You know, Andrew Garfield had great hair in Tick Tick Boom too.
Yeah.
And it looked exactly like what's his name, the actual guy,
Jonathan Larson.
Sean Lawson. Yeah, that's
strong hair in 2021. That's what we like to see over here.
Keep it coming.
Let's see what 2022 has to offer in the hair game.
What about the hair in F9 when it flashes back to Vin as a child, and both him and John Cena are rocking like just a good head of hair.
I don't remember.
It's like a shocking moment of hair because you're like, wow, you can never
Oh
picture
yeah, because
Vin.
everyone's like, Vin has hair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
all right.
Unfortunately for us and for everyone listening, that is this year's Bummies.
Yes.
I
Good
hope
job,
everyone got
everybody.
I hope everyone got good and drunk during this year's Bummies and had a good time, and that they're hoping that and they can't wait for next year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither can we.
Any
yeah,
early predictions for next year?
Nah.
Based on
No,
what we've seen.
No, I
Not
can't say
really.
that I do. Yeah,
Me neither. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen enough yet.
That's fair. It's pretty early.
But I did. Zoe Kravitz. That's my prediction. My bold prediction is she'll have a big year at the Bummies.
Oh, she'll have a great
That's a
year
good
next
idea.
year. Yeah.
Her and Colin Farrell, I also think will have a great year.
I actually
we can write those down.
Zoe Kravitz for best hair in a
Kimmy.
category for this year for Kimmy, but then I was like, oh yeah, that's from this year, not last.
Strong start to the hair game for 2022.
Yeah,
then,
there's a lot of good hair.
Yeah.
There's
something to look forward to.
Marry Me's probably going to show up a lot next year too.
Marry Me, yeah,
best
that'll be there.
Soundtrack, and Owen Wilson showing up again.
Yeah, those are our bold predictions for next year. We'll have to revisit when we get there. But yeah, congratulations to all the nominees and winners.
Yeah, congratulations to all the nominees. And I think that kind of closes a chapter of wrapping up 2022, 2021. I keep
21.
doing that. I'm a year ahead.
I'm already done with 2022.
Yeah. I'm done with 2022 and I haven't even seen the Batman. But basically we're kind of, I don't know, I think we're going to get back to our our regular agenda, whatever the hell that is. And we're hoping to churn out a lot more regular content, and especially a couple of our past few episodes have taken a while to do because there's been a lot of prep, and rest assured we will not be doing as much prep. We will not be as prepared. And so
that's our promise.
There will be more podcasts, but each episode will be worse because of that. So just following that,
get ready for that.
Following the American consumption McDonald's model.
Mm.
But we're gonna revisit movies and just talk about movies a lot more.
And we will be done talking about all of these, which we've been talking about for the past few months. So happy to move on. This is the end of a season of our cinema season.
Kinda,
So
pair your bummies with the Oscars, which are when do the Oscars happen?
It's the 27th or something, 28th.
Yeah. 27th.
Yeah, we're prime in the middle of award season. So what happened last night, Critics' Choice Awards, or not last night, but a couple nights ago were the Critics' Choice Awards.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's award season. So here we go. We'll end our season there, but stay tuned for the next Cinebums season.